Everybody thought Spannabis was going to fail. For years, Spannabis was legendary. Barcelona, huge crowds, massive smoke clouds. Then suddenly, everything changed. Bilbao, new city, new venue, Bilbao, and a lot of people genuinely thought this is the end of Spannabis, smaller venue, less hype, less scale. But judging by the videos, the interviews, and the reactions from people who attended, something interesting happened. Spannabis didn't die. It changed. And honestly, the entire cannabis industry feels different now. In this video, we are going to talk about how Spannabis changed after leaving Barcelona, why extracts became one of the biggest trends, where the cannabis industry is heading, and why Bilbao 2026 feels like the beginning of a new era. Because this is no longer just an expo about smoking, it's an entire industry. One of the main things people kept saying about Spannabis Bilbao was that it felt smaller than Barcelona. But interestingly, many people saw that as a good thing. In recent years, Barcelona started feeling too chaotic, too touristy, too crowded, too much like an event for the sake of the event. But Bilbao, according to many reactions online, felt more focused. More conversations about genetics, extraction, terpenes, grow tech, automation, and new cultivation technologies. And honestly, that says a lot about where the cannabis industry is going. Because modern cannabis culture is no longer just about smoking. Now it's also about technology, science, production, branding, media, and a massive international market. One of the biggest trends at Spannabis 2026 was the explosion of extract culture: rosin, hash, dabs, e-rigs, freeze dryers, dry sift systems. 5 years ago, flower was still the center of everything. But now, more and more attention is shifting toward concentrates. And based on what brands we're showcasing at Spannabis, the technology is evolving fast. We're seeing new extraction tools, more precise processing methods, lab-grade analysis systems, home rosin production devices, and an entire culture forming around concentrates. And honestly, it no longer feels underground. It feels like a real high-tech industry. But the most interesting part of Spannabis isn't even the technology, it's the community itself. Based on the footage and interviews from the event, people came from all over the world: Germany, Spain, the US, Thailand, Colombia, the Netherlands, and many other countries. Different languages, different laws, different cultures, but all connected by one thing: cannabis. And that's exactly why Spannabis feels different from a normal expo. Because the cannabis industry still keeps that underground energy, even while becoming more professional every single year. Of course, people are still comparing Bilbao to Barcelona. And yes, Barcelona was bigger, way bigger, more parties, more clubs, more chaos, more people. But according to a lot of reactions online, Bilbao had something that Barcelona slowly started losing: a stronger sense of community, less tourist energy, more genuine interest in the culture itself, more growers, more serious enthusiasts, more conversations about the industry, not just the party side of it. Even some creators who expected Spannabis Bilbao to disappoint ended up saying this was actually much better than expected. Some people even described it like this: Spannabis didn't die, it just moved. And looking at the response from the community, it's easy to understand why people feel that way. What Spannabis 2026 really showed is that cannabis culture is changing fast. This isn't just about smoking anymore. Now it's genetics, precision growing, extraction science, vaporizer technology, medical production, automation, lab testing, tissue culture, global branding. The industry is becoming more advanced every single year, and yet somehow it still keeps that chaotic underground energy. You can literally walk from a pharmaceutical level cultivation booth straight into a room full of giant smoke clouds and reggae music. That contrast is what makes Spannabis special. Spannabis Bilbao 2026 proved something important. Cannabis culture didn't peak, it's evolving. Maybe the event is smaller now, maybe it looks different. Maybe Barcelona is gone, but the industry itself, it feels bigger than ever. More international, more advanced, more connected, and honestly, this feels less like the end of an era and more like the start of a completely new one. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and let me know in the comments. Would you visit Spannabis?